Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So this week, certain Social Security beneficiaries are scheduled to receive their payments, with the max check going out being worth right around $5,108. Plus, we are now officially in day 7 of the government shutdown. Is the end finally in sight? In today's video, we are going to be covering everything that you need to know. But before we go ahead and dive into for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into it for today. So we are now officially on day 7 of the government shutdown. Republicans are blaming Democrats for the shutdown. Democrats, of course, are blaming Republicans for not including the health care provisions that could possibly end up making it so Americans now have to spend more for healthcare if they do not extend these Obamacare subsidies. So once again, we're covering everything that you need to know and whether or not this shutdown, whether or not the end is in sight. Plus, later on in today's video, this check's going out later on this week, actually tomorrow to be exact, to certain Social Security beneficiaries. These checks, once again, are going to be worth all the way up to $5,108. So diving right into it for today, first off, this article here from Fox News. Donald Trump is slamming Democrats for, quote, shutting down government, demands it to reopen tonight. So right now, the president and Donald Trump is pointing the blame, of course, at Democrats and demanding that the government reopen tonight. Are Republicans and Democrats going to come to a deal on these healthcare provisions? So once again, according to Fox News, President Donald Trump on Monday evening slammed Democratic lawmakers for shutting down the government amid one of the most successful economies, calling on them to reopen the government tonight. He said, quote, Democrats have shut down the United States government right in the midst of one of the most successful economies, including a record stock market and that our country has ever had, Trump wrote on Truth Social. This has sadly affected so many programs, services, and other elements of society that Americans rely on, and it should not have happened. He said, I am happy to work with Democrats on their failed healthcare policies or anything else, but first they must allow our government to reopen, he added. In fact, they should open our government tonight. So Trump is demanding for Democrats to pass the short-term funding bill that Republicans currently have on the table. And he says if they do, he's going to work with Democrats on their health care, extending those Obamacare subsidies. We'll have to wait and see. Are Democrats going to get on board with that? Are they going to pass a short-term bill that they have on the table that would extend government funding throughout mid-November, and then in the meantime that gives them a little bit more time to work with Republicans as far as extending those Obamacare subsidies go? We'll have to wait and see. Now, the article here goes on to say that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and most Democrats say they won't support funding the government unless Congress agrees to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies. Senate Majority Leader John Thune needs at least 8 Democrats to back the GOP bill, which would reopen the government through November 21st. So far, only Senators John Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Masto, and Angus King have broken ranks to end the shutdown, while Senator Rand Paul, a Republican, remains the only Republican holdout. Democrats warn that without a deal to extend these subsidies expiring this year, millions could face soaring premiums. Both sides say they want an agreement, but remain split over when to address this issue. And of course, healthcare in this country is a complete mess. For most people, it's completely unaffordable. For one person, even with a very high deductible, you're spending maybe $600, $700, $800 per month. For a family of 4, that's easily costing you $2,000, give or take. It's very much unaffordable, and it's a completely broken system. However, even a lot of Republicans, agree with the Democrats here that if we don't extend the Obamacare subsidies is going to cause healthcare to skyrocket, not only possibly for them, but also their children and other family members. So, for example, we actually have a Republican, surprisingly enough, and Marjorie Taylor Greene here actually siding with Democrats. She took to X to say the following. She said, "I was not in Congress when all this Obamacare, quote, Affordable Care Act BS started. I got here in 2021. As a matter of fact, the ACA made health insurance unaffordable for my family after it was passed, with skyrocketing premiums higher than our house payment. Let's just say as nicely as possible, I'm not a fan. But I'm going to go against everyone on this issue because when the tax credits expire this year, my own adult children's insurance premiums for 2026 are going to double, along with all the wonderful families and hardworking people in my district. No, I'm not towing the party line on this or playing loyalty games. I'm a Republican and won't vote for illegals to have any taxpayer-funded healthcare or benefits. I'm America only. I'm carving my own lane, and I'm absolutely disgusted that healthcare insurance premiums will double if the tax credits expire this year. Also, I think health insurance and all insurance is a scam. Just be clear." So obviously, just looking at that statement there by Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is not necessarily a fan of Obamacare. She even mentions there that whenever it passed, it caused her own and her family's premiums to skyrocket because of its passing. But as she also mentions there, if we don't extend those subsidies, her health care is going to go through the roof. Well, she might actually have really good health care being a congresswoman, but she also mentions there that her children's premiums are going to double if they don't extend those subsidies. So it's going to impact her family in a big way. So even though she's a Republican and not necessarily the biggest fan of Obamacare, she's actually siding with Democrats here that we need to extend the subsidies, although she does mention there that we should not give free health care to illegal immigrants. Leave your thoughts and comments below about that. Now, moving on to Social Security and the checks going out later on this week, actually tomorrow. To be exact, certain Social Security beneficiaries are going to be receiving checks worth all the way up to $5,108. So according to Newsweek, on Wednesday, Social Security payments are set to be issued to recipients whose birthdays fall on or between the 1st and 10th of any given month. If a payment does not arrive on its scheduled date, recipients should wait 3 business days before contacting the SSA. Weekends and federal holidays do not count as business days. Now, further payments in October are scheduled to arrive on these dates. So the following Wednesday, next Wednesday on October 15th, if you were born between the 11th and 20th of any given month, you will be receiving your check on that date. And then finally, the 4th Wednesday this month on October 22nd, those checks are going to be going out to beneficiaries with birthdays falling between the 21st and 31st of each month. Now, as far as how much Social Security is, as far as October 2025 goes, the amount each beneficiary receives depends completely on their lifetime earnings and how many years they contributed to Social Security through payroll taxes. Now, as of July, the average monthly retirement benefit is right around $2,006. The maximum benefit varies by retirement age. So those claiming at the age of 62 may receive up to $2,831 a month, while those who wait until the full retirement age of 67 may receive all the way up to $4,018 a month. And this, of course, rises all the way up to $5,108 at the very maximum for those who wait all the way until the age of 70. So once again, that is the max benefit. The average is just right around $2,006 as of July of this year. Now they go on here to mention that benefit recipients are expected to find out this month, coming up actually on October 15th, by how much their payments will increase next year. The SSA calculates the annual cost of living adjustment using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, or CPIW for short, which measures inflation based on the spending habits of working age households rather than retirees. And this, of course, has been taking place since 1975. Now, one big thing that is going to be factored in here, once again, the COLA announcement is scheduled to take place on October 15th. That, of course, is because that is when the Bureau of Labor Statistics is going to be releasing all those important inflation data. So basically right now, since the government is shut down, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is also not releasing all those important statistics. So if the government is still shut down 8 days from now on October 15th, then unfortunately there is going to be a delay in when exactly they are going to be announcing the cost of living adjustment, and who knows how long this shutdown is going to last. They may very well pass a short-term funding bill today, as Trump demanded, and all this mess may be over with, and they may actually have that announcement coming up on October 15th. But if this rolls on maybe a couple more weeks, we may not actually know what the cost of living adjustment is officially, at least, until at some point, maybe next month in November. We will have to wait and see. But with that said, that's all I have for today's video. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it, and I will see you in the next one.